Subscribe to Hard to Find Media on youtube.com/Hard to Find Media Network. This shit is free. Share it. Blast it. Fuck it.
Hello, you're listening to AM 1045, KAOP. My name is Danny.
I'm Joseph.
And this is Accents on Purpose, a weekly radio show where we cover all the music that's happened in Seattle.
Every single song.
Every single song, every single note. Joseph, how are you doing?
I'm doing really well.
Why?
Yeah. Why? A couple of reasons. One, when I was walking to the studio today, down Broadway, I saw a guy with a very unique pair of sunglasses that were like a visor from RoboCop. They were like Geordi from Star Trek, just over his eyes. And I was actually, I'm happy about it, but I was also appalled because it made me feel like it was the idea of the future in like the 80s or something like that. And I really hope that that future doesn't actually come to pass. And I hope someone tells him he's wrong.
Can he be wrong?
Yeah, we can all be wrong.
Well,
we all need to learn that. Also, there's some really good shows coming up.
Name one.
Okay. I have two to talk about, but the 9th, which is a Tuesday at the Black Lodge, SSDD and Nail Polish and some other bands are playing. Because I think this will come out Monday morning, so go to that the next night.
Yeah.
And then,
I mean, if you're listening to live on AM radio, you have several days.
Yeah.
If you're just getting the podcast.
Yeah, if you're tuning in, drive time commute home, that's great. And Friday, February 12th at the Black Lodge is Great Spiders, Bob and Versing, and I love Versing's new record. So I suggest checking them out. I've never seen them live, and I won't see them that time because I'll be in Portland, so there's that.
You fuck up everything.
I know, I fuck it up. What? I don't know why me being there has anything to do with it. But.
Well, let's get the show started. What?
Doesn't my segment count?
I'm in with our guests.
Oh, yeah, we have guests in the studio this time.
I have to move a mattress today, and I just want to get the show done.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm not excited.
Okay. Is it your mattress or something?
No, I'm getting roped into it because I'm the only person with a Zipvan account.
Is it from Sleep Train?
Nope, it's not from Sleep Train, our newest sponsor. If you need a mattress, go to Sleep Train, corner of Harrison and Broadway. If you're homeless and you need to take a nap, go to Sleep Train, corner of Harrison and Broadway. If you don't need a mattress anymore and you don't want to pay to get it removed, just take it to Sleep Train and leave it on their front door.
They gotta move it.
They gotta move it.
They literally have to move it.
Joseph, I know that you like listening to music. And I know that you like
headphones a lot.
On headphones a lot. I know you like watching movies in your underwear on a laptop.
Yeah.
But do you ever like to read?
Yeah, I do.
Do you ever like to... What?
Oh, I was going to say especially local zines.
Me too. And that's why today we've brought in 3 of the publishers, writers, CEO. I don't have the masthead in front of me.
I feel like it's Seattle's hottest zine now.
It's Seattle's hottest zine. It's passive aggressive. If you folks want to introduce yourself.
I'm James Ballinger. I started the zine.
I'm Brian Kim, and I write for the zine and do stuff.
My name is Jeffrey McNulty, and I also write for the zine and do stuff.
That's right. I like doing stuff. Mm-hmm. It's great.
So it's been going on for a few years now? How long has it been going on?
I had the idea for the zine in late October of 2011.
Okay.
Wow.
So that's when I just started a Facebook and then got a website going. And we put out our first issue in February of 2012. So we're coming up on 4 years this year.
Wow. How many issues are there now?
15 plus, a few, random zines or issues that we've done just for events or stuff like that.
And so why did you want to do a physical format versus just doing like a blog or a website? I mean, I'm glad that you did, but what kind of pushed you in that direction?
I think it was just, I felt like it was necessary. I got the idea from a couple friends of mine, Jason and Leah from the band Noisatron, who knew that I had done a lot of music writing before, and like, yeah, you should just put together a zine. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds simple and something that I could do to help. So that, and I felt like at that time there wasn't a lot of, we focus on mostly heavy music, and I felt like, some of the major publications were kind of, covering it a little bit, but not covering it to the depth that it needed to be at the time, because it was really starting to
Yeah, it
take
was blowing
off.
up, man. I mean, it became what it is today, but that was like when everyone started noticing, like, holy crap, there's a lot of good bands in this town.
Totally.
Yeah, that's one of the things, with music and like some publications, and then even some just like, reviewers, or, I'm thinking of that like guy who has a YouTube channel who's like bald with glasses. You know what I'm talking about?
No,
Anyways,
I don't watch YouTube as much as you do.
I fucking love YouTube.
He does, really. It's his favorite show.
It is my favorite channel. But I sometimes I don't like it when someone reviews all types of music, because sometimes they don't really understand like certain nuances and like the scene that these bands are coming from. And so like when you review everything, it's weird because like I've read reviews of bands and that I really like, and I'm like, they just got it all wrong. Like they don't understand like where the band's coming from. So when I saw Passive Aggressive and I saw that you just focused on kind of like the heavier music, I was really excited that you weren't trying to like cover a lot of things. Like I like that there was like parameters that you operated in.
And it's also clear that you know what you're talking about and know Seattle and know the bands that you're like. It's very focused and fun to read because you feel like you get to know the bands, as opposed to just like, here's an album that sounded heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, well, thank you. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Thank
that
you.
is really good. I got to be honest, I read the zine every time it comes out. I even read the stuff I wrote and go, oh, I wrote that. Cool. But to have a totally outside perspective from two people that I just met today, that means the world to me, to hear that we're actually doing something. And I mean, as soon as I heard about it, I wanted to get into doing record reviews again. I hadn't done it for a really long time. I wrote for a while for that magazine Tablet, if you remember that from a long time ago. They tried to like go up against The Stranger when The Stranger sucked really bad,
Okay.
and has continued basically to suck since then.
They don't even have a music editor anymore.
That's weird.
Well, longtime listeners will remember what we're referencing.
Well, then we tried to. I don't think we ever talked about it.
Oh, did we never talk about it on there? Oh, never mind. Longtime listeners will have no idea what we're talking
So,
about.
well, just real quick, we had an interview set up with. They had a new music editor, like a brand new one.
The Tablet or The Stranger?
The Stranger.
Oh,
Last summer.
after Emily left.
Yeah, after Emily left.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
they hired her, and we had like this interview all set up, and it was like we made the arrangements like 2 weeks in advance, and everything's like going fine. And like the day of, I email her just to like confirm, and I got this auto response that she'd been no longer working there.
Did you still interview her?
What?
No,
Nope.
she didn't show up.
She didn't
Oh,
show
that's
up.
too bad.
Yeah,
That would have been awesome to
I
get
know.
like that.
And then we started contacting the Strangers music department. We were
Like
just
Sean
saying,
Nelson.
yeah, and we're like, we had this commitment from someone from your publication.
Yeah.
They didn't show up.
And we tried to get him to come on. He was
He
like,
wouldn't.
maybe I'll listen and come on some other time. But
I doubt it.
yeah.
But anyways, back to your magazine. So do you ever do you get people who try to get do you get like submissions from people who
Yeah,
are
I mean, we
completely
get-
outside of kind of your parameters?
Oh
Yeah, we talked about that the other day.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think that we've probably ended up on, publication lists of stuff, just an email that's like press at the Seattle PA, a lot of publicists will just add us to lists, and I'll get stuff for, jazz, funk, fusion.
Yeah.
And it's
The
like,
Head and the
well,
Heart, Fleet Foxes. I'd love to hear you guys write about that.
See, I
should.
wish we could do an issue where every writer just got one page and picked a band that they just can't fucking stand.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we go out of our way not to slam people as
course.
much as possible because
Right.
there's
We
so many
try.
bands to write about. I love slamming bands, but I also understand you've only got this many pages in the zine. You might as well make it count and make it about
Yeah.
something you
yeah.
care about.
I mean,
instead
even
of wasting-
online, we've
Even
tried.
online,
we've
yeah.
tried to keep
Plus,
everything.
It's fun to have a
positive.
positive presence. I feel
Totally.
like in the music world.
Well, it's my one outlet of being positive. I think. I'm such a cynical, negative bastard.
I'm totally right there with you, man.
But it's like, okay, I can, say some nice things.
When you guys started, was it just you writing at first, or did you already have like a group of support and friends that wanted to write and be involved?
We had a couple people that, there was a girl who wrote for us, Elena, who did a couple stories for the first couple issues. Joe Frothingham from Mother Crone, the band Mother Crone, did something. And there were a couple other people that just kind of helped us fill some pages too that wrote on some bands. But when I first started, it was just going to be me, and I think I did like three stories maybe in the first issue, and it was just kind of like, oh, I've got a page for Monogamy Party. Here's what I think of Monogamy Party.
Yeah, I remember vividly reading the issue or the story about Akimbo breaking up.
Oh yeah,
And like the
that was
history
one
of
I did.
Akimbo, and it was one really informative and good because I've been kind of obsessed with that band for years.
Yeah, me too.
And it
Totally
also made
understand.
me really sad and just like felt like we were losing something. But I was like really
we did. I mean,
You did a
we
really
lost
good
to
job
Akimbo
on
and we
that.
get
Yeah, it was
Sandrider
epic.
though.
It
so.
was really an
And
amazing article.
Thanks.
going.
Yeah.
Like the website version was just like, wow.
Yeah, totally.
And I love those Akimbo guys. I've been friends with them since
yeah.
the dawn of time.
Yeah,
I
we
feel like.
we tried to do that, or Pam did one the year after I did the Akimbo one on Playing Enemy, and so we were trying to make it a yearly thing.
Yeah.
Playing Enemy one was epic too. It was
Yeah, that
really
was
good.
really
That's when
good.
I went like, holy crap, Pam, you can write.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, they just said all this stuff, and I was like, no, you did some editing.
And I think the interesting aspect of doing those articles is you're writing about a band in hindsight.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing. A band. I think at the time Akimbo had played their last show maybe like 8 months ago, and they were still working on the second Sandrider record at that time, but I think they were much more candid with me than they probably would have been had they still been a current band, and that was definitely the case with Playing Enemy. So when I wanted to do one on Botch this last year, and sent some emails and just kind of got into the holiday season and never really worked out. So maybe I can get that going this next year.
I'd love to read that as well.
I think that there's definitely a lot of interesting stories that could be told there.
I didn't go to the last Botch show because I was in 8th grade and I went to an 8th grade dance instead. And I was like, I regret that so much. Just like, I remember my friend just being
that's
like, do you want to go
regrettable.
to this show like to see Botch? And I was like, I only barely know who that is. And then like later in life I was like, I blew it.
I only saw
Wait, did you
I only
make
saw
out with
him
anyone?
once.
No, I didn't even
Okay, I was
get
gonna
to dance with
say,
a girl. I
yeah,
just
yeah.
sat on the wall and was like, I hate this. And my mom picked me up at like 7.
But you sat on the wall?
Well, yeah, I stood against the wall. I was a wallflower, if you will.
So do you have like a regular publishing schedule? Like do you have like a set time when issues come out, or is it kind of like when just things develop? And
We try to do one, I think, every 3-4 months. We try to do it. Each issue we do 2 separate runs where we change out the back ads just to make the show flyers kind of current. So they run for a little while. But yeah, we try to do it every 3-4 months.
so then there's never like a moment where like stop the presses, we got to do something. We got to change these stories. Someone's breaking up, or there's a record coming out, or.
No, we have the website too, so we kind of use the zine as like a, less timely things and everything that's timely, that's instant, like this is what's going on now. We use the website for our Facebook or one of those. But yeah, we try to keep the zine pretty focused on this is the band, this is what the band sounds like, here's some stories about the band and a link, so it can kind of sit on a shelf need be for a while.
Yeah, your zine is free, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, for listeners to know. I'm
You
saying
try to wonder if you've always been shoplifting.
Yeah, it's free. I just take it. But it's at like a lot of music stores, record stores, and everything. Like
Yeah, we do like 40 locations.
That's awesome.
We have people that take them up to like Linwood and Everett, Bellevue, South Seattle. We were sending them to Tacoma for a while. So, but I think it's like 30 to 40 locations around this kind of area.
And the one thing I like is that you keep like a very consistent look. Like it's like I could like notice the passive aggressive 100 feet away because this is like this. What? Why are you laughing?
I just like that you're looking for zines 100 feet away.
No, what I mean is just like it's always very consistent. Like the way the cover looks, the way it's laid out, the way the title is, and everything.
Yeah, that's honestly just due to my lack of knowledge of putting these things together. That's why they all look alike, because I can put a picture in the center and put some band logos around the front. It's nice that we had Andy Crawshaw do our logo, so I think our logo has actually kind of helped us, and the name's catchy too. You know,
Yeah,
people
for
like
sure.
And
people like the name.
it describes pieces of Seattle. Like, it makes it very aware that you know Seattle, and it's just, I don't know, it's great. I love it.
Actually, funny story. Curtis, our bass player, he can't wear the passive aggressive shirt at work because it's too like negative and like weird. But he can wear like metal shirts with like blood and like tits on them and shit. But he just
They
can't
don't
wear-
let him wear it?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
can't wear it there.
It's
I'm
because
passive aggressive.
it says something bad about Seattle.
That's really bizarre.
Yeah. It's funny.
But they wrote him a note about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They should have put metal bulletin.
I just got that. It took
Yeah, me too. It took me a second too. Yeah. They didn't want to talk to him about it.
So what is some of the better? I mean, we mentioned the Kimbo and Monogamy Party. What are some of the other bands that you've enjoyed covering, or that you've?
Oh my god! I mean,
I mean, no, I'm mentioning for 4 years worth of
the
coverage.
list is huge. I mean, I've gotten to write about some of my favorite bands. I mean, that last thing I did on Serial Hawk. I mean, really, Serial Hawk is the band for me that made me go, there's people this age, you know, I'm older, there's people this age that are like in their late 20s, early 30s, and they're playing the exact kind of music that I love.
Yeah.
And I don't know who they are. And they played Highline, and I walked right up to him and I said, I just wanted to know about it. I was like, who are, I introduced myself, we've been
Where
friends
did you
ever
come
since, but I
from?
mean, it blew me away. I was like, you guys are exactly the kind of music that I like. I've never met you three people, and now you're my favorite band, you know? And that's happened a lot over the years, and so yeah, I mean,
Do you think being like writers makes it easier to approach bands that you like because you will be like, I want to write about you? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it's a
yeah.
reason to
Yeah.
contact and not
Yeah.
creep someone out.
I mean, that's one of the things I like about
we
doing
do
the
that,
podcast
yeah.
because like I could like just go up to someone or invite someone over and like ask them a bunch of questions. That's
Yeah.
not like creepy.
Yeah.
yeah.
If I was doing this to you at a bar, you might be like, this dude will not leave me alone.
got a lot of
Why is he asking me about our logo?
Yeah, this has all been an elaborate 4-year plot for me to talk to Botch.
That's
That would be
fair.
another super epic one. I mean,
Yeah.
it would count.
Yeah, I
That
mean,
could be a
it's,
whole
lot.
issue, really.
it's opened up a lot of cool doors, like talking to bands. Like I did something on I Hate God and ended up like doing their merch for a couple shows.
Oh, wow.
And you know, so it's cool just to kind of meet these people and hang out. And I think the most of them too were not, you know, Rolling Stone or anything like that. So I think it's more casual for other people too. And who doesn't like talking about their own band? Let's be honest.
Totally,
you know?
yeah.
I've never had a band go like, oh, I don't know if I want to be in that. Every time someone's like, really?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We have had one person that we contacted be like, I don't think we want to talk about what we do.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I won't say the name,
It
but-
wasn't a band. It was someone that organizes a festival in Seattle.
Huh.
And then they did a interview for The Stranger.
Yeah, I know. That was
Like immediately after.
like it was really like 3 days afterwards
Yeah.
I saw it, and I think I even
Yeah, you emailed them.
I
With a
emailed them
link
back,
to it.
yeah, with the link to The Stranger, and I was just like, oh, I see you don't like to do.
Yeah.
See, that's more Seattle aggressive.
Yeah, we're not
that
passive. We're
Yeah.
very aggressive. So you are you still just in Seattle, or I saw something about you moving down to Portland as well? Like,
We did a Portland passive aggressive. Just we've only done one issue of it, and it was a lot of fun to do. I had Kat Jones help me out with it, and it was fun to do. But I just don't live in Portland, and I don't make it to Portland. So it seemed for me, you know, it's like, well, I'm not gonna write about, I guess not the band necessarily, but it felt weird writing like, you know, go see this band at this club that I don't really know
What the vibe
much
is,
about,
yeah.
you know, or see this band. And, you know, I always get super paranoid about our own personal image. Like, what if I write about this band that has this horrible story attached to it in this town that I don't really know?
Some sort
I'm
of
gonna visit-
terrible date rape thing or something.
yeah,
like
or
you hear about.
something horrible, and it's just like, why
Yeah.
did I promote this band's show? I
yeah,
had
you
no
can't
idea.
take all responsibility for that though. Like, you can't know everything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the goal, I think, for that is, you know, the website is still up and the Facebook's still active and stuff, but I would like somebody to just kind of take it, you know.
Were you
just-
kind of hoping that someone would do that? Maybe like that you could jumpstart it and be like, no, you're a sister
Franchise it.
city. You know, yeah, kind of like.
I kind of did. I
wish
mean,
it would
like,
happen.
It could happen. I mean, I'm able to just, you know, print up zines and put them in a box and mail them to people.
Yeah.
So if somebody in Detroit, for example, wanted to do a Detroit passive aggressive, I'd be completely open to that.
It'd be
Send me the
that
pages.
Detroit aggressive though.
Yeah, Detroit extremely aggressive.
The Boston, what do you do? My fate. It just goes on and on. It's like a whole sentence.
The New York, I'm walking.
Yeah.
Oh man. So beyond the Seattle passive aggressive, you guys have other projects as well, bands and whatnot. Tell us about those.
Yeah, I mean, Brian's in one of my favorite bands in Seattle.
Yeah, I play in Gladiators Eat Fire.
Oh, cool.
We've been doing stuff, playing music and hanging out for a while now.
What do you play in that band?
I play guitar.
Cool.
Yep. And yeah, we're actually going on tour pretty soon here, and then hopefully every time we go on tour, honestly, I just take a big stack of passive aggressive zines with me, and everyone loves the shit out of them on tour. Like, people come up to the merch stand, and like, I think last time we had a whole bunch of backed issues I had just been like holding on to. So I had like 4 or 5 different issues on the table, and people just come up and like grab them all and be like, all right, sweet, getting sale music out there.
I feel like I've seen. I know that I've seen your band, and I've seen the name Gladiators Eat Fire for a really long time. How long have you guys been a band?
I mean, we put out our first EP in like 2008.
Wow.
And we were just kind of like jamming around a little bit before then, probably about a year. But yeah, so it's been
That's longevity.
pretty close to a decade at this point. Yeah. It's been a while.
And you're still having fun with it?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. It's
It'd be weird if he would have said no.
Yeah.
Actually, fucking.
This
I'm
would have
here
been
to
a
announce the
great
breakup.
show.
Yeah.
Now that you mention it,
So we're playing our last show on Thursday.
Yeah. No, it's just, I feel like that's hard to do. Even like some bands,
Yeah.
like 2 years is too much.
Yeah, it happens.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure. I mean, I started another band like 5 years ago, and yeah, we only lasted like less than a year probably before shit got weird.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
What's the other band?
Blood Knife.
Great name.
Yeah.
I know, right? That was a big name. That's such a great stoner metal name.
so who do you think is in the past 5 years the most underappreciated heavy band in Seattle?
To me right now, it's great. It's Great Falls.
I wasn't gonna say it, but yeah. Great Falls.
I mean, yeah, I guess I should kind of throw out that I've helped them kind of do some social media stuff, but I'm not getting paid, and I'm not a manager or anything. I think that band's great. They needed a little help to get some things going, and I helped them. But yeah, I think that band right now could be so massively huge, and just seeing the reaction on that last record too that they put out. Just from all over the country, just has been really overwhelming and awesome to see. So it's just a matter of time before that band takes off, and they're legends. I mean, they're legends now.
See, I need to see all that positive stuff. Again, full disclosure, I recorded their last 2 records.
Cool.
And it's that last record's like, it's literally like the best thing I ever did, and it's because they were so amazing and they pushed me really hard to do it right. And it's like crushing. I mean, listen to that on vinyl, I'm like, can't believe I had anything to do with this. I was just happy to be their friends, much less record their album.
Yeah.
But like, to me, it's like, it took like a year for it to come out, so it's all out in the ether, and I've just been waiting for people to go, holy shit, that's a crushing record. And I see it from friends and people, and we I mean, everybody I know agrees it's a good record, but I've just been kind of waiting, like, when are they going to blow up? And I know that it's mostly because they don't tour. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah. Another band that I think that is super crushing and original in Seattle is Spacebag.
Oh, yeah.
But I've never even heard that name,
Well,
actually.
check them out. They're like this crazy prog band, and their keyboard player Luke plays like grind keyboards through a distortion and a full stack. And their guitar player, and it's the drummer for Playing Enemy, and their guitar player can play. He's like Eddie Van Halen, but if Eddie Van Halen grew up listening to Carcass,
Yeah.
that's exactly how I explain it, And so, but these guys are like, they're hometown heroes, but they're out there doing progressive stuff that no one has ever done before, in my opinion. Like taking it to this other level of musicianship, and they're finally going on tour, and I'm so glad about that.
Awesome.
Because their record's gonna be. I mean, their last 2 records are great. I guarantee you, if you like any sort of proggy stuff, then you would enjoy it. If you don't like prog, though, probably just, blow your brain. But seeing them live, though, is the thing. You got to see them live.
Oh, yeah.
You said Space Bag?
Space Bag, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, they blew my fucking mind when I first saw them live. I had no idea what was coming at me. I was just like, holy shit.
I love when that happens. Like when you're like, it's a band you don't know the name of, and you're like, I don't know, they're just an opener, and then it's just amazing.
That's why you got to come to the show and see the openers.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
you can't just come and just walk in and see the headliner. It just doesn't. You don't get that aha moment. You know, that's the greatest thing in
There's
life.
no chance for it even.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You're cutting it out, showing up late and missing out on that first band.
Joe shows up to the show before the bartender does.
That's actually true. My nickname is Early to the Show Joe. And this is 100% true. One time we went to Neumos, I can't remember who we were going to see, like Helms Ali or something, or Les Savy Fab.
I think it was Helms Ali.
Helms Ali, yeah. And we got there, technically the doors opened at 8. We walked in at 8, and the bartenders were so clean, and there was a janitor like sweeping the floor. And Danny was just like, because I was like, it's gonna sell out or something.
Sure.
And we ended up going
Probably
to
did
Bimbo's.
sell out.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
But like we went to Bimbo's for like an hour and a half, and he was like, we could just be doing like I could be at home still. Man. So yeah, I do that all the time. All the time.
Yeah, it's good.
Early is on time.
It's a good habit.
It is.
I like it.
I brought you guys stickers for my new band.
Yeah, tell
I'm
us
gonna
about
put it
that.
up. Say if I can plug it.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
no, we would love
We're
to
both
talk about it.
both of our bands are in the new issue, so it makes sense. But it's called Githyanki, and that is a Githyanki for those of you in AM.
What is
land.
a Githyanki?
It's a monster from an old school Dungeons and Dragons book.
Okay.
Oh, sweet.
And we're all nerds like that, and we all grew up listening to Melvins and Godhead Silo and.
Did you go to the guy that saw the show?
No, I was actually going to ask him. Like, I had this really bad party weekend, and the Godhead Silo would have been like the third or fourth night, and I just couldn't do it. It took too much out of me, and I'm just hoping that there's still a band so I can go see him again. And this wasn't a one-off. Someone tell me this wasn't a one-off.
I can't understand. I'm not sure
Yeah, I
exactly
don't
what's
know.
going on with them.
I mean, Mike's doing the Mike and the Melvins records.
Yeah,
coming
so
out
they'll probably
in
tour on that,
April.
right?
Yeah.
I don't know. That'd be awesome. I mean, the
great to
Melvins
see
are
that
coming
live,
here,
wouldn't
a couple months after
Yeah,
that
yeah,
record's
that's true.
coming out. So I mean, maybe they'll do live shows, but
No, I was really excited about the guy that I saw the show. I saw them in 1996. They were an opener. I showed up early. They're an opener, and I couldn't believe like what I
Word.
was seeing. It was
Just crushing.
So, yeah, like I could still remember. I was feeling the amps, like the sound from the amps was like so powerful that it felt like wind on my face.
Where's that? Where was that?
It was in Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, okay.
That's
Yeah.
where I'm from, and so
Word.
Oh, really?
And they're originally from
Fargo.
Fargo. Yeah, that's
they're,
right.
They're originally from Fargo. So yeah, it was, and then the other night they were. They had it. It was perfect. It was great because I didn't know the reason they broke up was because the drummer almost lost his hand in an accident. Like it almost completely came off, and so he just couldn't play drums.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't know that.
I really wondered about that too.
that's why they kind of had a quiet breakup. Was because it was so devastating. They just
Jeez.
didn't
Well,
really want
they
to-
kind of fell apart before that though,
Okay.
because my friend Alex recorded their last record, and he said that they basically just went in there and recorded, and then kind of just walked out,
Oh, jeez.
and not walked out,
Yeah,
but just
yeah.
kind of slowly and just let him mix it, and just
They were like, yeah.
I think maybe they were on their way out anyway, but I sincerely hope that was not a one-off show,
Yeah.
because I basically based my decision that night on, well, I've seen him a bunch of times before. I would love to be at this show, but I'm way too hungover, and there's no way I'm going to go to this thing.
Yeah.
Stand there.
But no, it was quite solid. Quite solid.
Where'd they play?
Chop Suey.
Chop Suey. I was mad that at myself because I didn't even know about the show until the next day when Danny was like, I saw.
I really hate that feeling.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know how I missed that.
And it was
I-
postponed.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
postponed.
Oh,
Yeah.
Because I had almost bought
Yeah.
tickets for the old one, which I wish I would have done. Because if I'd had tickets, I would have forced me to go Hangover or no.
So who else in Seattle should we be listening to if we want to listen to heavy music?
Shit.
I made a list
There you go.
because my memory's kind of bad.
I mean, just to throw out some things that are
Such a long list. I
that
want
are
you to
coming
read every one
up.
of them.
Narrows are playing.
Oh, I can't
yeah.
wait for that
Yeah,
show.
it's
gonna be a good
That-
show.
I saw them at El
Sandrider.
Cortisone.
Sandrider's back in action now.
Big-
that,
yeah, Big Truck.
They're opening that show, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Big
that's
Truck
gonna be sick.
is the opener on that bill, and Big Truck is one of those bands you need to fucking get there early to see.
Yeah,
agree.
those
Those guys
do not
kill it.
miss Big
And they-
Truck.
They kind of don't play that much anymore now.
No, it
Then,
doesn't seem like
well,
they
that's
do.
because isn't Lee in that band? Not Lee.
Yeah,
you know,
Lee
Lee.
was
Yeah.
in.
From
Lee was
Alfama?
Yes.
Yeah.
Loved Elphaba. So
Elphaba
good.
is like one of my favorite bands.
Oh,
ever.
they were right on point,
Yeah.
man. Those other guys in Elphaba have another band now too. I can't remember what it is, but they were. I saw them accidentally. I was doing sound and I saw them, and they were just like, "Bam! You guys are the guys from Elphaba, aren't you?"
Yeah.
If you're the guys from El Fabo and you want to tell us your other band, email us at accentsonpurposepodcast@gmail.com.
So real quick before we get to the bands, on a personal note, what?
What's going on?
I think he's.
Look, I really need to tell something. I'm sick, guys. No, I used to hang out at the Redmond Firehouse all the time in high school, and I always thought it was really cool that you did sound there.
I was gonna say you looked really familiar.
Yeah, like, and I was like, oh man, the guy from Bloodhag is doing sound, and like Matt Doctor, like he's at Elphaba, he was in the Assailant.
Oh my
I
god,
thought that was
so
cool.
so talented, that guy.
And Nat Dam, the drummer of Akimbo, like in Bandpool, gave my band our first show, you know, or like not really, but he like played our tape and he heard my band. I thought that was like amazing, and it was cool to like. That was when I realized that the people who are in these bands that I idolize can also be real people that can just like be around. They're not like rock stars.
Another aha moment, right? Yeah.
Frozen in their tour van.
Yeah, but it was just like you're just
And then
there,
I'm back
like,
there doing lines of coke off the strippers'
yeah,
butts and
no,
stuff.
yeah, you
It's
guys
not
weren't
like
these
that.
fucking assholes. You were nice to us as kids and gave us an opportunity to like feel a part of.
Then why are you so mean to kids?
I hate kids. I don't want to make them feel a part of it.
No, it's fun. When I walked in, I knew I was like,
Yeah.
I know this guy. I
Yeah,
swear
yeah.
I know this guy.
I was around there a lot.
That was a golden moment in time, like sort of like the before that, and then like a couple years after.
Yeah.
It was super super fun and interesting.
That was great. Yeah.
I learned a lot about music from all the, I guess, kids,
Yeah,
whatever.
they're kids.
But like the guys in Paris in Arms, I mean, I did not understand their music at all. But I was
No.
there recording their records, going,
yeah, and
they're blowing my Kyle, that guy.
went on to be in Fellow.
Yes,
with Jamie
Fellow,
from Monsters.
One of my favorite bands from Seattle ever.
Yeah, Fellow was amazing. Their live shows were incredible. I loved it. That like short-lived, at least to me, like grindcore.
Yeah,
like Antlers, like all those,
that weird like grindcore thing.
yeah, that happened, and everyone was really into it, and then it just like was out of it. It was cool.
I was gonna say, I think this episode we've mentioned the most bands.
Yeah, yeah, that is true. Like, if you count up the amount of bands we've mentioned, please email us at accentsonpurpose@podcast@gmail.com.
And the first person to do the correct answer, me and Joseph will make you a mixtape and mail it to you.
Yeah, one side each.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great idea.
All 80s slow jams.
Yeah, but it's none of the bands we mentioned. Man, fuck you.
Besides the magazine, have you thought about doing other things like a passive aggressive compilation or like?
Yeah, recently, one of the guys from Curse of the North, Christian, who has his own studio, had kind of hit us up with an idea of like, I'll record these bands and you put out a compilation, and so we kind of toyed with the idea of that. There's several like ideas of like doing a passive aggressive fest or
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea.
Like card game.
And passive aggressive promotes shows in that way of like, well, we have a bill and other people will come to you.
Yeah, we do
right?
put on our own.
Like
our own
sponsor a
shows.
show, like Seattle Progressive, or Seattle Passive Aggressive presents.
Yeah, the Highline has offered to put our name on a couple bills, and we kind of push it, a little harder than we would a normal show.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, the guys at the Highland are really nice. We the
Great,
record
yeah.
store I work at, we wanted to have a 4-year anniversary party, and we did it there, and it worked out very well. The guys were really great.
That was a great show.
It was fun too. All right, back to the list.
Yeah.
Okay, great band from Portland, Lord Dying. I think they're one of my favorite metal bands. Speaking of favorite metal bands, Theories from Seattle is killing it right
I
now
like
across the
them too.
USA, and Black Breath, who have been my favorite metal band since they started, and now they're just like legendary,
Totally.
as everybody knows. Blood Drugs is a great band. It's not
yeah,
metal.
Drugs.
That last record.
Yeah.
Holy shit! I listen to it all the time still. Like a year.
Yeah, we tried to get them on the podcast, and something I don't know.
Yeah, it didn't work out, but Good to Die contacted us. and was like,
Yeah, it was just like a breakdown of communication.
That'd be another one if you could get like Nick and a member of
Nick
two
doesn't wanna do
other
it.
bands.
Nick doesn't want to do it.
Yeah, I
Really?
think he said he was a little self-conscious.
Yeah,
or something,
he
like,
said it, yeah.
He's like, can't.
Which makes sense. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
sure.
not always the easiest thing.
But no, yeah, he's putting out fantastic records.
Totally.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. He
Keith's
always.
record
I mean,
break.
that's another thing that happened right around the same time as Seattle Passive Aggressive started.
Yeah, he's on his 5-year anniversary this
Oh,
year,
cool.
so we're right.
And he came out strong. It seemed like he released a ton of records like right away, like
Yeah.
an Army Party and Sand
Yeah.
Rider. And
Yeah.
Absolute Monarchs. Fucking
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
oh, yeah.
that
I
record.
forgot about them.
That record was so
Right?
good. Oh my god, the songs on that,
Yeah.
fucking great. He Whose Ox Is Gored. They.
Oh man.
Yeah, they were
Friends
on
of the show?
Yeah, their new record is. I mean, they just did what they always wanted to do.
so
I
good.
think. I mean, it's the culmination of everything that, anything I ever heard or saw from them, I always liked it, but it was never that. And all of a sudden, it's like this enormous, thing. This
I think that was just a
epic
matter of
achievement
time for those
I
guys.
agree. I totally agree.
Yeah.
It was like
Those guys have been working so hard for so long, and I feel like they're one of those bands where, like, a year or two ago, they would be, like, the most underappreciated band in Seattle. And now they're finally starting to, like, get a little recognition.
Yeah.
And, like, that record especially really put them on the map, I feel like, of just having this awesome sound.
And it seems like they go on tour every month.
Yeah,
I
every
feel like
time,
I feel like they're always like, "Yeah, we're going on tour."
Well, that's what you got to do if you
Yeah.
want to sell records, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how it is, as far as I'm concerned.
And those guys are so likable too.
Yeah,
you
they
know,
are.
That
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, no.
That was the first band that we had on that we didn't actually know anybody from.
yeah.
And
As soon as they walked in the door, they're like making jokes.
Yeah.
and like we barely had the microphones on, and they're like yelling about masturbation.
yeah, and like crazy things. And we were like, "This is great!" Like,
And they're genuine too.
Oh, no,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
if
yeah.
you see them on the street, they're genuine people. It's not like this
Yeah.
fake "I only like you because you're in a band"
Yeah,
thing.
totally.
Which happens.
any more bands?
Eris. Eris
Eris.
is really fucking good. Their last record fucking slayed, super heavy.
the
Yeah,
new one's awesome too.
I know. I can't wait to listen to it.
Same. I just haven't gotten to it yet. But that release show's coming up pretty soon, I think, too.
Yeah, that's the 11th
Yeah, it's coming
I
up
think-
really soon.
with with Great Falls, and that's going to be their actual record release now. It's in.
See, this
it's
is the
in
third
books.
one. I've gone to 3 shows in a row. Last one, I finally got vinyl off of them.
That's when they
You know,
had
I'm
the
holding
record.
it up like, Indiana Jones, It's like, I can't believe I finally have the
Indiana
vinyl.
Jones. I found the artifact.
Yeah, seriously.
And Witch Ripper, another really great band.
Yeah, those guys have been quietly just slaying
Yeah,
it.
like I
for
feel
a
like every
while
time
now.
they play a show, everyone loses their shit. Just like it's like that perfect kind of mastodon-y, like sludge metal, stoner metal type stuff. Really good.
Pretty aggressive.
Yeah.
They've gotten better over time too. Like last time I saw them, I just walked up to them and I was like, I don't know how to say this. I hope you take this the right way, but every time I see you, you get better.
Yeah,
totally.
Which is a good thing, I
Oh,
think.
it's
But
great.
not that you sucked before.
Yeah, that's what
but-
you said.
I mean, some band, like I've been in bands that we started pretty embarrassingly horrible, and I feel like at the end of it, I was like I was proud of it.
Yeah,
I was
sure.
like, oh, okay, like we got better.
Yeah. Year of the Cobra. I actually
See,
just
I've
saw
not
them.
seen that band.
I saw them, or actually we played a show with them a while back, and I was like thoroughly impressed. I was like, oh man, they're doing that kind of doomy stoner stuff with a 2-piece like bass and drums, but not too like it's not boring. It's like got more energy to it, and it's definitely not the same old 2-piece bass and drums sludge type stuff that you
That's
see all the
cool.
time. Yeah, really great.
Mother's Crone is killing it too. You mentioned that earlier, but like I went to a show. My friend's band, another band, TP Creeper. They're from Port Angeles. I just went to see him. They're my friends, and Crone just threw it down, and the place was packed. Like you could the Victory Lounge, which is not hard to pack, but I mean it was like wall to wall.
That's cool.
I was pretty impressed.
What celebrity are you dreading dying because of the outpouring of sympathy that they're going to get?
That will just annoy the shit out of you. Like mine is Eddie Vedder.
Mine's Garrison Keillor.
That's a tough question, man.
like the one that we're personally going to be devastated about.
No. Like you're just going to be
Annoyed by
annoyed
it.
because everyone's going to be like posting YouTube clips.
Oh, it already happened. The whole asshole from the Eagles.
Oh,
Yeah, I've been
One
waiting
of
for
the
that dude to die,
assholes
like pretty much
You've been
dawn of
waiting.
time.
I love that.
I actually,
fries.
I've thrown parties for people who died before. I'm not afraid to admit that. There are certain people in the world, like when Ronald Reagan kicked the bucket, I was like,
Oh yeah, that's totally fair.
Yeah.
I was when Margaret Thatcher died, I was just like, yeah, she was a horrible person.
Yeah.
Good.
yeah, I know. You kind of get like that happy feeling. Oh, the world's a lighter place just today.
Yeah.
It's a little better. And then Lemmy dies, and you're like, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess, for me, it would probably either be like Mick Jagger or Keith Richards, just because I know I'm going to have to see the flood of.
Okay, and that's gonna last like a year.
Yeah. Like every car driving by, every store.
But to be fair, I'm a massive, massive, massive Stones fan. So I've lost friendships probably
see,
over these arguments
hold it
of
against
people
you.
that do not respect the Rolling Stones. But just seeing those, like, you know, the posts that are going to be, you know, like, oh, I love this band when my parents played it when I was a kid, and it's like, where the fuck were you when I was talking about how the Beatles were the best, you know, or the Stones were better than the Beatles, and blah blah blah.
Oh man, there might be a fight.
I have to say, like, the thing with Bowie, you know, Bowie passing away, and then all of a sudden,
I think he might still be out there.
with Tupac.
Did you go to Snoops.com yet?
No. But, like, it just seemed like everyone on Facebook was. He inspired me to be who I want to be my entire life, which he was really inspiring, but I know you, and he didn't inspire you to do shit.
Yeah.
Like, which is fine. He didn't need to.
What the most interesting thing that came out of Bowie dying was the Red Hot Chili Peppers said that they asked him to record their album 3 times, and he said no all 3 times. But they kept asking him, and then for no reason they asked Brian Eno 8 times, and he said no 8 times.
That seems embarrassing.
Why would either of those people want to work with the Red Hot Chili
I know.
Peppers?
But see, they only had 10 records, so that means all but 2 records they tried to get someone to produce it, and they said no.
But that's kind of rad that they went for Eno every time.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so we got a budget. Let's call Brian just to see if.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I
That
don't
makes
wanna
me.
hear
It
that
makes me
record,
like him.
though. I don't want to hear.
No, I know it's weird. It'd be weird.
And then like atmospheric keyboards coming
Yeah.
in. Like,
How would it even work?
I don't know. It's just
Maybe that band would not be fucking horrible, right?
yeah. Yeah.
Maybe.
Who are you dreading dying? Or, you know.
I haven't really put any thought into this, but I kind of want to say Paul McCartney.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
totally.
yeah.
Because just because he's a Beatle doesn't mean he's worth shit still, to me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, terrible.
Oh wow, brutal.
Yeah, when he did that last rock and roll tour, you know, and it was like his great grandpa rocking out.
It was great.
It was
It was
not.
great. It was
like a song
fantastic.
for-
No, it was not, dude.
You didn't go.
I saw it on
did a song for a
Access
video game?
Live.
You
I
didn't
think he
go.
did like a song on.
Of course I didn't go, but I saw it. I saw it.
I saw it like on.
Wait. They'll all our listeners.
Yeah.
Sorry, you might have to edit that whole
Talking
thing
over each
out.
other now.
Let's let Brian talk.
Yeah.
Last
Sorry.
question: where do you get coffee in Seattle? Where do you like to get your coffee? Do you get your coffee? Do you drink coffee? Do you like coffee? Do you want a coffee?
All right, take it easy. He just had 4 cups of coffee.
Right up the street. Not at the Starbucks, but at the other one. I don't know. I don't drink coffee. I drink tea.
Okay.
There's this place I usually go to. It's inside the Safeway called Starbucks. I think they're gonna.
Oh, that's like a
do
local
well.
company, aren't they?
They're, yeah, there's no. I like going to Cafe Vita. If I guess I just when I get coffee, it's usually at the McDonald's drive-through because I'm poor.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I mostly drink all my coffie at work because I get it for free.
Yeah,
Oh,
same.
there you go.
It's honestly not the best coffee. We do not make it very well for some reason, but I'll pound the shit out
It's
of it
free.
every day. Yeah. Although actually, there's like a really nice cafe like right next door to my work that if I just wanted to spend $4, I could go get like good coffee. Coffee Clutch. It's like a German bakery slash.
Oh, is that on
cafe.
First Hill? No.
No, it's up in Lake City Way, like
Oh,
125th
okay.
in Lake City.
You talking about that Polish place on First Hill? Have you been there?
Yeah, okay.
It's like a little deli slash.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I actually heard about
talked
that.
about that one time?
Man, I can't. That place is amazing.
Yeah.
You got to go there and just get whatever you feel like. we went there one time from my friend Jonah. You know Jonah from Jonah Heroes.
Yeah.
And we went there. He told me about it. We have this thing where like he tells me about places and takes me there because I don't know. I guess. But he's like the king. He knows everything. And when he walks in, they know his name. You know?
Nice. That's
So we walk in and we're sitting there, and one of the guys we were with, one of the I think guys from Absolute Monarchs, he busts open a jar of pickles that he just bought, and he starts eating them. And the woman behind the counter is like, "Oh, no, here," and she gives him some bread. And I was like, "Now that's old school.
Yeah.
I'm moving to Poland.
Yeah.
Like if I can go somewhere where someone's gonna give you bread
for your
because you
pickles.
need it because you're obviously hungry and you're eating a pickle,
Yeah.
that's what's missing
That's
in
life
American
right there.
society right there, man.
is bread.
Just
No, I know
that
what you
thing,
mean, yeah.
you know, like, oh, you need a cup of coffee here,
Yeah.
you know,
Like I can't watch you eat that the wrong way.
yeah, no, that's.
the
I
right
think
way.
actually it was that because she was like, no,
Yeah.
have some
Doing
bread.
it wrong.
And on that note, we'll call it a show. The next issue, when is it coming out?
We'll probably have our 4th anniversary issue coming out here in, I don't know, 2 months, I'd
Yeah,
say.
sounds
Nice.
The end
Great.
of, shoot for the end of
And it'll
March.
be at just about every record store. So if you want one, go to the record store.
Or you could subscribe. We sell subscriptions. We
Oh,
have
that's cool.
a website with some swag if you want to buy stickers.
What's your
t-shirts.
website?
It's a Big Cartel page. I think it's just the Seattle Passive Aggressive.bigcartel.com.
Cool.
Really catchy. It rolls off. you can link to our store from our website. Which
One
is,
thing I learned is if you don't add zine to the Google search and you just do Seattle Passive Aggressive, it's mostly articles about the Seattle Freeze and how to. I was like, and finally, I think you were like the second or third one, right? But I was
Yeah.
like,
You have to put.
zine or something about music. It helps.
That's really funny.
All right. Well, thank you guys so
Thanks for
much.
having us.
Yeah, thank you.
And we'll, Joseph, see you next week.
Oh yeah, I'll probably be here. I don't know. Actually, next week we're off because I'm in Portland.
For Lover's Day.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good night.
Night.